host, Karen Bannister, and I am excited to introduce you to this episode's guest. Celeste Ma'at is a full-spectrum doula, wellness coach, and herbalist at her wellness practice, Light as a Feather, which is a Denver-based wellness center that serves women with holistic remedies and rituals for the hygienic care of their mind, body, and spirit. Now, through wellness coaching, advocacy, and intuitive healing practices, her healing work seeks to uplift the collective woman so that we might not only heal the present day, but 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. So welcome to the Pink Lifestyle Show, Celeste. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Karen. I'm super excited.
Me too. I am so looking forward to learning more about you and your business. So like most of my guests, I invite you to share your journey and maybe even how Light as a Feather was created in your training. And then, of course, ultimately the services you provide and everything you've learned.
Yeah, I'd be totally open. Yeah, I'm totally open to explaining all that. So, yeah. So Light as a Feather has been a journey of not only, but really I would say self-discovery. You know, I think that's I've always known that I wanted to be a business person since I was like really young and have my own business. And Light as a Feather is just something that like, as I grow and heal and add different modalities to my bag, I feel like Light as a Feather has been able to evolve with me. So, Light as a Feather started, when, like 2016? The fall of 2016. Yeah, that's 6 years now. At the time, I was doing energy work and vaginal steaming, and those were my main 2 modalities, was energy work and vaginal steaming. And that really came about because I had heard about vaginal. Do you know what I'm referring to?
I've heard of it. I don't know much about it, and please share with us in case people aren't familiar.
Yeah, so vaginal steaming is pretty much a herbal tea blend that you put into warm. So like I have some tea like in here, so I have like my herbs and stuff, and you put it in a bowl. So I would, instead of a cup, you put it in a bigger bowl, and kind of how you would like steam your face during a facial. You're steaming your vagina, and there's a lot of benefits to it because it's pretty much like the steam opens up the porous tissues of the vulva, allowing the healing energies of the herbal tea blend to kind of come up to soak up into the vagina, into the womb space, and heal your reproductive system, specifically the female reproductive system.
Okay.
And so I was doing that for my own health and for my own period health and things like that. And so I was like, ooh, I like this. Everyone needs to like. So I opened my business doing that. I was also doing, heard about like energy work and laying on of hands. So I started doing that type of work as well in my business. And so the cool thing about Yoni steaming is that when it helps for women for a lot of things that might be coming up within their reproductive journey, from like fertility. It helps women to, get pregnant a little easier. It helps just with period health as well, regulating your cycle, decreasing cramps. You'll even see over time that your period color changes a little bit. So like if you have like a really dark period blood, it's because there's like old uterine lining. Yoni steaming kind of helps to cycle that through. Then so of course it can help you get pregnant. Once you're actually pregnant, I suggest women start doing it like when they're really close to 40 weeks and they're like I'm ready to get this baby out of me. steaming is
Now
really
I remember, yes.
vaginal steaming is really great to like moisten up the perineum, help the cervix soften to open. And then it's really great for postpartum with like helping to shrink the uterus back, help with any tearing, helping with the vaginal walls as everything is coming back together. And so from that, that's kind of what kind of got me into being a full spectrum doula. So I had heard about it. And then my friend was pregnant, and I was like, oh, I had heard about doulas and I'm kind of interested in it. Is it okay if I come to your birth and, be a part of that? She was like, yeah, of course, come on. And that experience was humbling for me. It was eye-opening for me. I was like, this is what I want to be doing. At the time, like I said, I was doing energy work, so I was incorporating that into the birth. And I really just experienced this connection where in the birth room, the veil was lifted between the physical realm and heaven, and the spiritual.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
And I truly felt that in that room. And I was like, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. So I think that Yoni steaming actually kind of opened the door for me to getting into the birth world, as I was able to use it in all parts of the birthing and reproductive cycle. So that's kind of what we were talking about before we went live. You were asking, I've never heard of a full spectrum doula. And so people who have heard of doulas, they're usually introduced to doulas through the labor aspect. And a labor doula is someone who shows up, they're non-medical support for birthing people and their families. We help with advocacy, helping you get through the intensity of contractions. We help with education and getting, accurate education that you might need to have an empowering birth experience for yourself. So what full spectrum is I support you throughout. I can support women and people throughout that entire experience. So not just pregnancy, but I support infertility, pregnancy, the labor, postpartum, as well as bereavement. And bereavement includes miscarriage and abortion work. So I do feel like Yoni steaming is what kind of opened up the door for me. And so that's when I started getting certifications in all these different modalities for postpartum support, for labor, bereavement, and fertility. And yeah, at the time, while I was getting those certifications, I was also in school. I graduated from Metro State University of Denver, and I actually got to create my major. And it's altered. Yeah, I know. That was every time when someone tells me, yeah, when people tell me they're going to that school, I'm like, look at the, I forgot what the name of the program was now, but it's a program where you can create your own major. And for me, I was like, oh, I love so many different things. You just can take what you want and you just have to defend it at the end of, your 4 years. Oh
my gosh.
And so my major that I created was wellness studies for marginalized communities. And what that included was alternative healthcare with the emphasis in wellness coaching. And then I took classes in Africana studies, women's studies, Chicana studies, and things like that. Oh in which incorporated the marginalized communities, because I do feel in order to support and heal people, it's good to know their background and good to know their history. That's
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it kind of goes into what I was saying when you read my bio and my my mission statement. We heal 7 generations forward and 7 generations back, because when you heal yourself,
that really intrigued me.
So what'd you say?
That really intrigued me.
Yeah, when we heal ourselves, especially as women, it literally has a ripple effect across generations of us. It's a remembrance of what our ancestors knew. You know what I mean? The healing remedies that our ancestors had. We're remembering it and maybe even creating some new ones, that are healing because of being disconnected from it for whatever reason, and passing it back down, the lineage. And so, so that was my major. And yeah, from that, light as a feather was just kind of able to evolve from both my coaching background and the modalities that I was picking up along the way. So, and then also just doing the work for myself, when I started to heal my period issues and things like that, I was able to support my clients when I was going through fertility and experienced a miscarriage. I was able to then connect with someone else. I'm currently pregnant right now, and
Congratulations.
thank you. And I'm super excited to, like I said, I was doing postpartum before, but I do feel like now that I'm going through the postpartum period, eventually we'll be going through it. Like, I feel like I said, every time I go through something, I feel like I'm even better equipped to support someone else. Cause I'm like, yeah, sis, I've been there too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Right.
So, yeah. And that's kind of what I mean with, like, for myself as a business owner and other business owners, like, allow your business to grow with you, allow your life to kind of be the school that you need in order to, like, support.
Okay, that's good.
Like, that makes sense.
And be open to new things that come along. You know, always be open to new experiences that may lead to new opportunities that you hadn't thought of before.
Exactly.
I've seen that happen a lot, and that's wow. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because even as a doula, like, I've been doing doula work for 4 years, and even being pregnant now, I'm like, wow, I did not know this, was a thing. Because, like, a lot of times as a doula, like, you can know things prior, but you're also kind of learning when your clients are learning. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this happened. And you're like, okay, well, let me find these resources for you. You're just making sure they're getting accurate information. You might also be learning along.
Right.
So alongside this. So this might be TMI, but, like, for me, pregnancy, like, my breasts are on fire right now because the hormone changes and they're, like, making all the milk. And like, none of my clients have ever told me about this. So I didn't know that I would be expecting this,
Okay.
So, like, something like now, once I go through it, if I have another client who might be experiencing this, I'd be like, hey, these are some things that, like, my CLC told me, like icing them, making this type of salve to, like, soothe them and things like that, and reassuring them that it's okay, so that's, like, one example of, like, how you can use your real life experiences to kind of, like, support you and your clients in your business. So yeah, at least from a healer's point of view. So
definitely a healer's point of view, but also from a coach's point of view. I mean, that's, I think, what makes strengthens people's skills as a coach. If you've done the work, you've experienced it, you've gone through it and come out the other side better for it. You not only know how to, deal with it yourself, I mean, you can help, better help your clients.
Yes.
So, yeah, you had the knowledge before in the training, but now that you're actually going through all this, you definitely have the firsthand experience now.
Yeah, like, definitely going to school and learning about wellness coaching and taking the classes, reading the books was great. I'm glad that I have that. In that, though, like, if I was trying to do some of the, like, now I have, like, 4-month coaching programs that I would never have been able to create when I just graduated. You know what I mean? Like, I had
right.
You know what I mean? And, like, witness things and, like, support different clients and even support myself, in order to make these programs, and I think they're pretty strong, like, to my own horn. I think they're pretty, like,
do it.
Strong programs, Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So now I know when you say, you mentioned the energy work and other, I think I read on your website, you're a trained Reiki master also. Is that true?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you still do that? How do you incorporate that? Is it part of how does that work with being a doula? How close do those things meld, or are they separate in your business?
Oh, no. Everything finds its place eventually. With each client and things like that. So definitely pre-COVID, when I was seeing people in person a lot of my fertility clients came to me to get energy work done. So if I wasn't necessarily working with them with, like, okay, let's all the physical things, like, let's sync your hormones, so, like, to increase fertility, let's change, make these lifestyle changes. Sometimes I was doing that with them in addition to the Reiki, or some clients just came in for energy work. And it actually kind of, especially for my fertility, it started off with just the energy work. I just have gifted hands. I think, the divine are working through me. There has literally been times where I was just 1 or 2 sessions of just doing laying on of hands, and they're like, oh, I've been struggling with fertility, for so long, and I came just for energy work. And a lot of it, especially clients who may be going through IVF or IUI are seeing like just more secular doctors for things like that.
Okay.
A lot of times they're missing the spiritual side of pregnancy and the spiritual side of reproductive health.
Yeah.
And so my energy work using intuition and laying on of hands and feeling energy and stuff, a lot of times I can feel like energy blockages in different spaces of the inside of the womb.
Okay.
For example, like a lot of women come to me for like fallopian tube blockages and stuff. And the fallopian tubes are connected to our throat chakra as well as our childhood healing. So like a lot of women who have unresolved childhood experiences and stuff, that sits in the fallopian tubes, right? So energetically we can kind of move those things through coaching and like, you know, one-on-one sessions and things like that where we talk it through, you know, that's that can kind of help energetically move things in the womb space, you know, that a lot of doctors, you know, miss. So yeah.
So you mentioned, I mean, like the rest of us are dealing with, you know, pre-COVID, you know, back pre-COVID. I'm sure you did a lot of your work, you know, face to face with people. How are you handling doing work now? Do you just take super precautions, or what do you do? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, part of it is definitely being super cautious if people still want to come and see me in person. You know, we're wearing masks, you know, putting on the hand sanitizer. But that's actually kind of where, like, I was really grateful that I studied wellness coaching, because now I feel like with COVID, I've been stepping more into my coaching role.
Okay.
So of course I still have the in-person modalities and things, those are still an option, but lately what's coming up to the forefront, and also just being pregnant too. I'm like, I'm gonna have a child soon. So being able to work from home is like great.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So now that's actually where my coaching programs come, kind of like step in and take the reins from there. So now a lot of it is just like talking through and coaching through any emotional, physical, spiritual things within the 4-month coaching program. And that could all be through Zoom. And because I do Reiki, Reiki transcends time and space. And so I can send you Reiki right now if you wanted it, Karen, you know.
Nice.
You know, so I can still do things like that. And through like distant energy work using tarot if I need to. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what type of healing that person is in need of. So yeah, and now like with the Yoni steaming, I might not be able to do a steam with you in person, but I can sell you like a blend, and you can do it at home. And you know, on my site you can download a ebook that tells you how to like Yoni steam at home. So yeah, I'm still able to do a lot. It looks a little different, it's not in person, but I do feel like the work is just as powerful, the work is just as effective, you know, whether we're in person or behind the screen.
Well, that's a great way to be set up for business and to make this, I guess. Were you like looking forward to do things more virtually anyway, or was it just kind of like forced upon you, like a lot of us kind of caught off guard that, maybe, okay, virtual's maybe the future, but future's now. So
it was forced upon me in the most unexpected way. Let me tell you. So last year, 2019, I went through a business program called Sister Biz, which works with African American women entrepreneurs.
Awesome.
And she got me set up so that I can be able to accept a business loan and, you know, apply for a business loan. And I applied for it. I got accepted 2019 of October. I took out the loan literally February, like early February of this year. So like right before COVID hit. And so, and I'm still like healing through this. Like I experienced a lot of like financial trauma from it, because like a lot of my money went into just keeping the overhead of my in-person business, you know what I mean? Because I had to find a lease that I needed to stay in until like this year, October. It was a year lease. I had signed it last October. And so like a lot of the money from my loan went into just staying afloat, where the goal before was to help me elevate my practice, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I think as business owners, we can get really hard on ourselves especially when we're like investing money, because we're like, oh, if I'm putting money into this, it needs to work. Because it's $1,200, it's $5,000, you know what I mean? It's like,
right,
like work. And there was times during the COVID, I was like, this doesn't work anymore. I did something, I made an investment that I don't want to say it didn't work. It didn't look like how I thought it would look. And I had to like learn how to not beat myself up, or even like try to punish myself for making those decisions, because let me tell y'all something. If you have a coach and your coach doesn't have a coach, you need to see another coach. So
heard that so many, I mean, I say it too, but that is so true. All coaches think that. We all have our own coaches, because yes.
And so my business coach, we've been really working this 2020 about like how I need to almost like show myself some self-love and forgiveness. Like, I didn't know that COVID was going to happen. I like found myself really taking COVID personally, like it was a personal failure on my end. You know what I mean? And so like, so they've been like really working with me on like, you don't have to keep beating yourself up. You know what I mean? Because from, a choice that you made, like you were making the best choice that you wanted to make at that point in time. So even there's been a couple times this year that I was like, I'm throwing in the towel. This ain't, you know what I mean? If it doesn't work by this date, I'm done. And it's funny, all the dates that I said, I was like, if this doesn't work by July, if this doesn't work by October, it's December. I don't know when this is going to be posted, but at the December, and I'm still at it. So
it must be working. But you are not alone. I have worked with and spoken to more people who, like you said, took it personally, like in a personal attack on them. But you said it perfectly. You can make the decisions with the information you had at the time. Yeah. Who knew this was going to happen?
Nobody.
Well, it's wonderful that you've made the pivots and the decisions and the choices that you've made in your business to still be here. And the services that you provide are just amazing. I wish I would have had them 23 years ago.
Thank you.
But I just think it's absolutely amazing. So let me ask you, you've got, so much unknown. Right? Still unknown. These amazing services that you provide for people virtually or in person. Do you feel comfortable making future projections and talking about the future, where you want your business to go and what you want to do? Or do you have I'm sure you have a vision for the future, but what is that? How comfortable are you with it? Are you ready to pivot again when needed? What do you see coming up, basically?
Yeah. Well, pivoting is all I've been doing all year. So if I just have to do it again, we're just going to have to do it. My goal for 2021 is definitely to go full time with my coaching program that I've created. 2021 is definitely, I will be taking like a small month, 6 weeks off because of maternity leave, but
I was gonna say, girl, you need to
Yeah, I can't be a postpartum doula for other people and not take care of myself.
Right. Okay. Good.
There will be a small 6-week hiatus. So it's definitely best to kind of get in early for 2021 January, because again, it's a 3 to 4 month program that I work with you on. But yeah, my goal is for 2021 to just really step fully into my coaching practice. And I would say that COVID really made me kind of step out of my comfort zone so I can coach, because it has always been on the docket. I was like, oh, I definitely want to coach, but it was always something secondary, right? Or something that I would just sprinkle into my services. So I would sprinkle a little coaching into the labor stuff and coaching into the Reiki at the beginning of the session. But it sucks because it didn't suck, but I was just they would come in for a 50-minute session or an hour session for let's say vaginal steaming, and they're saying, oh, I'm having a hard time getting pregnant or something like that. Yeah, I can give you some tips and stuff, but I feel like if you want to see real change, it happens over time. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, my goal was definitely, I just didn't feel like I loved doing the in-person, but I was like, I just don't feel like it was enough, you know?
Right.
And so, but I was kind of using just the in-person as a clutch because I'm like, well, this is making money right now, you know? And so COVID, I think, came in, was like, we're going to fully step into coaching now, like fully step into like fully helping people heal, like over a span of time, you know, and hopefully increase my income with it, which is also the goal. For myself personally, but ultimately I just want to make sure that my clients are like fully getting the healing that they need, because it doesn't happen in a 50-minute session. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't imagine. No.
Yeah, it happens in multiple 50-minute sessions over 3 months.
Right.
It's longer than that, but my goal is to give you the tools to be able to, once the program is over, you can like dip back in your toolbox and be able to continue those things that you learned and those things that we went through together. So yeah, 2021 is the year for me to fully step into my coaching, and hopefully get some more products back there on the line. So out there in the world. So yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Yeah. Because you said you sell the tea, right?
Yeah, I do the Yoni steams. I have body oils as well, and I have a few sitz baths that are sitting in my recipe book that I want to get out there. But again, like I said, because I didn't know COVID was happening, the goal was to use that money to also like put more products out there and things, because, you know, to increase my income and put more products out there. But because COVID kind of like took all the cash and just to keep me afloat, my goal is to, next year to like get back into like putting out more products again. So, yeah.
Well, awesome. Okay. So, I mean, for everybody listening, lesson learned, the best laid plans, it just doesn't always work out that way. So I'm not going to say when that happens to you, it's okay. It will work out. You just need, keep your wits about you, keep an open mind, ask for help, keep your eyes open to new opportunities. I mean, clearly that's what you did, Celeste, and just did working wonders with them, and still being able to work with women who need your help.
Yeah, thank you.
Women need you, so I'm so glad you didn't, just like you said, throw in the towel.
Yeah, right there.
Women, and speaking of women needing you, when they need you, where can they find you? What's the best way?
Yeah. So the best 3 ways is my website, which is lightasafeatherdoula.com. And light as a feather is spelled exactly how it sounds. Lightasafeatherdoula.com is my website. That's where you can book a free 45-minute clarity call if you're interested in my prenatal postpartum coaching program. That's also where you can book a womb wellness consultation if there's something outside of like necessarily prenatal postnatal support that you're looking for, whether it's like period help, fertility, and things like that. I do womb wellness consultations as well. So that site is where you can book as well as buy products. My social media, I'm most active on my Instagram page. Instagram is lightasafeather42. And third, on Facebook, I do have a Facebook group called Light as a Feather Womb Wellness Collective. I think even if you just type in Womb Wellness Collective, I think mine's one of the first ones that'll pop up. But Light as a Feather Womb Wellness Collective, I have a Facebook group that I engage with there. So, yeah.
Awesome. And for anybody who right now, when you're listening, if you're driving or you're out for a walk, I'll have all these links in the show notes. And social media. So you'll get them. You'll have no problem finding Celeste. It'll all be in the show notes. So, wow, Celeste, thank you so much for coming on the show. I mean, so interesting, such a unique guest. So much interesting information. I just, and guys, go to her website. It's not only is it beautiful, but chock full of information and tips, and you'll learn so much about her. So again, thank you, Celeste, for being on the Pink Lifestyle Show. Everybody reach out to her, and until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on The Pink Lifestyle Show. Make sure to visit my website, KarenKBannister.com, where you can subscribe on multiple platforms and YouTube so you'll never miss an episode. And while you're at it, if you found value in the show, I'd appreciate a review and a rating from you, or simply share it with a friend. Also on my website, submit your email to receive my weekly newsletter and monthly e-magazine, purchase my books, enroll in a course, or learn about my VIP private coaching.